want some more, nigga.
Welcome back to 4th Flow ENT TV. Special guest C. Jones the Goof in here with me. What up?
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into this video, take a few seconds, hit that thumbs up like button, feel free to leave a comment, share this video with everybody, and most importantly, sub to something from above, man. Tell everybody you know to sub to the channel. I got a lot of great content coming you won't want to miss out. So subscribe if you haven't already, and if you know anybody that hasn't subscribed, ask them what they're doing. Tell them to hurry up, hit that subscribe button. This video right here will be real brief. I basically want to thank all of my supporters, my fans, people that motivate me and inspire me to keep going. I want to thank you all for helping me to reach 44,444 total views. Matter of fact, I'm about a couple hundred over that, but I just want to thank you all. I always said I'll make a celebratory video when I reach that number. As you all know, 4th Flow ENT, that's a brand that I push, and it's a lot of great things coming in store from 4th Flow ENT. And so I always said that I would take time to make a video to celebrate when I hit 44,444 views. Once again, I thank all of you all for the support. And to show my appreciation for that, I'm going to show you all a brief clip from my upcoming feature film, Dark Vibes the movie. Let me know what you think.
Nigga out there shit. Nigga ain't tripping, bro. I ain't tripping about that, bro.
It is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What you finna be on, though?
Shit, I need to run to the store, shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You say something, the work was finna do your hair or something, then?
Yeah.
I ain't tripping, bro. I'm finna go to the crib on some. My mind ain't even on that. Just on some shit. Hit my ass when you get safe, bro. On some. Get your hair done, bro.
Love, bro.
I hope you all enjoyed that snippet from Dark Vibes the movie. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, as I mentioned, if you haven't already, so you won't miss the premiere of Dark Vibes the movie coming very, very soon, only on my YouTube channel. So subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to touch very quickly on the topic that occurred last night between Will Smith and Chris Rock. I have different opinions on it, but to sum it up real quick, I'll start with Chris Rock. First and foremost, we have to ask ourselves, did he know the severity of the topic and what it meant emotionally and personally to Jada Pinkett Smith? If he knew, then in a sense you can say he crossed the line. But technically, he's a comedian, and comedians have said far worse. So the world knowing he's a comedian, Will Smith knowing he's a comedian, you have to understand that that kind of comes with the territory, especially when you're on one of those front seats in a major event like that and a comedian is hosting, is on the mic. You're liable to get a joke thrown at you. So if Chris Rock knew, come on, Chris, you could have used better discretion. But at the same time, he's a comedian. I will say I salute Chris Rock for remaining professional. I'm not a big Chris Rock fan at all. I have a couple biases towards Chris Rock, so I will have to do a little bit more research on him before I can just give a broad generalization of him. But I'm not a fan of him. I'm not saying I don't support him, but I'm just not a Chris Rock fan. But I will say that, in my opinion, he remained professional. And to people, I want to say this: just because a man chooses to fight or not, if he chooses not to fight, that does not make him pussy, or that does not make him weak. That does not make him scary. You don't know what's going through that man's mind. You don't know what he has to lose, what he's thinking about. So before we jump to judging situations like that as pussy or scary, you got to stop that, because that doesn't necessarily mean that. That could mean a person has great self-control. That could mean a person is focused on the bigger picture. That could mean a person has a lot to lose. So it can mean a lot of different things, but we got to stop jumping to, oh, he was scary, he was pussy. To speak on Will Smith, first and foremost, I'm a huge Will Smith fan. My favorite actor is Denzel. My second favorite actor is Will Smith. Really, they both my favorite actors. My top two. But the first thing I will say is mental health is real. Mental health is real. Seeing that situation, I don't think that was something that just occurred in that instance and Will all of a sudden got mad. I think that was something boiling over, underlying factors that were probably boiling internally and mentally, and I think at that situation it was probably the tipping point. But that wasn't something that just happened sporadically. It definitely was a build-up. When people act out like that and it's not in their norm, it's not in their character, you have to understand that people process things differently. Some people hold things in, some people vent. People process things differently, but it can turn to mental illness very quickly when you store a lot internally and don't vent and don't express it and don't seek therapeutic resources. So I think the incident was just Will's tipping point, but I think it's definitely a lot of other things that led up to that. Secondly, Will Smith did laugh initially, and so that kind of confused me, because if you were offended, you would have never laughed from the beginning. So I feel as if he took it as a joke initially, and he looked over at Jada, and maybe he saw that Jada wasn't taking it as funny, and then he got offended. Or for all we know, when he was laughing initially, he could have just been trying to hold it together, and he failed in doing that. So just because he was laughing initially, we can't say that he wasn't offended out the gate. He could have been, and just could have been holding it together and then lost it, the same way Chris Rock held it together after the incident. Thirdly, I asked myself, would Will have done that if it was someone else? If it was somebody bigger, if it was somebody more intimidating, if it was somebody of another race? I have to ask myself, even though I'm a fan of Will Smith, I have to ask myself, would you have done that if it was anybody else? I also have to ask myself, why not earlier? People have been throwing jokes through the internet for a long time about the Will Smith situation, the August Alsina situation. So it was a lot of times when Will could have spazzed or tweaked like that. So it just makes me wonder, why then? Why with Chris Rock? Was it something else, a feud with him and Chris Rock that, we don't know all the details about? So those are the type of things I ask myself when it comes to Will. And lastly, with Will, you have to exercise self-respect, and in doing so, all I would ask Will was, you have to consider and ask yourself, do you think Jada would have done the same for you? If you ask yourself that, and without a shadow of a doubt, you feel as if she would, then I don't fault you. But if you ask yourself that and you have to doubt, or you have to think about it, or you're not sure, then don't do something, and that's to fellas worldwide, don't do something that you feel like your significant other wouldn't do for you, because at that point you're lowering your self-respect and you're valuing that person over yourself, and at that point that can be very detrimental. So just exercise self-respect. That's my opinion. And then lastly, on Jada Pinkett Smith, emotional discretion. And when I say that, I mean, if it was somebody else on stage who cracked the joke, would she have taken it offensively? If it was one of her homegirls, one of her actresses buddies, would she have taken it offensively? If it was another day when she was just in a different mood, would she have taken it offensively? So I asked myself, was it a situation where she just chose to be offended and upset at that point? You all let me know what you think in the comment section as far as that. My second confusion about Jada Pinkett Smith was, why haven't you defended Will Smith earlier? Way before this event, why haven't you defended Will Smith when the internet was all over him about a situation that you were a part of with the August Alsina situation? Why you didn't come forward more publicly, more enthusiastically, and defend Will Smith? Because you just saw what he'll do for you. So it makes me wonder why she hasn't came out and defended him to the magnitude of what Will did, and the scene and the commotion that caused. I don't recollect Jada stirring any feathers or ruffling up any feathers to that magnitude behind Will. And lastly, I asked myself, why didn't Jada Pinkett say something when Will was getting up? They've been together for years, so his body language, his body expressions. Why not say nothing? Why not get up and try and stop him? From him getting up to walking up to Chris Rock, I never heard her holler out, no, Will, or stop. So it's just different questions that I ask myself. But you all let me know in the comment section what you thought about the whole ordeal. At the end of the day, mental health is real, and people are human beings. So I know the internet's gonna do what they gonna do with that situation. But as far as me personally, I'm sending my blessings and prayers out for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett and their family, because they are a very very influential black couple in the black community. And I know a lot of young kids, young couples, different people probably look up to them. So for that sake, I just hope and pray that, whatever familial issues they have in their household, they get it worked out. I thank y'all for rocking with the channel. It's been your boy, C. John, the Goof. Until next time, we out.